أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
A very beautiful story comes to my mind, and every time I go to Medina Munawwara and I see this place, tears begin to well in my eyes when I remember what happened that day when Rasulullah salallahu alaihi wasallam was with Muadh Ibn Xhebeli. And Muadh Ibn Xhebeli radijallahu anhu was a very close companion to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, in many ahadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions his love for Muadh, as Muadh had an upper hand with the people of Yemen. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam chose Muadh to be a governor in Yemen and to go to be a teacher in Yemen, and to go to Yemen and teach the people about Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ tells Muadh, Muadh, I have chosen you to be that very teacher, to go to Yemen. And the Prophet ﷺ, on the day that Muadh is leaving Medina Munawwara, walks with Muadh. He walks with Muadh from the vicinity of Medina Munawwara with the animal that Muadh will ride. He walks with Muadh from the masjid to the outskirts of Medina Munawwara. Today, if you go and visit that very place where Rasulullah ﷺ walked up to with Muadh, you will notice a roundabout and on it a gate, and they call it the gate of Medina Munawwara, the entry to Medina. And at this very point, Rasulullah ﷺ turns and looks at Muadh, and they've had a beautiful conversation from the masjid up to this area. And believe me, this was quality time. This was time that Muadh had spent with Rasulullah ﷺ on a personal level. And you will know this, that every Sahabi, every companion felt he was the closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Say sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Every companion used to feel that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the pinnacle in his life. Every companion felt that they could turn to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam for anything and everything. You imagine Muadh walking with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his wonderful relationship with Rasulullah. He walks to the outskirts of Medina, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam turns and he says, Ya Muadh, he says, Asa alla talqani ba'da ami hadha. He says, Ya Muadh, we will not meet again after this year, Muadh. Imagine the feeling that Muadh would have had at that moment when Rasulullah ﷺ is telling a man that these guys would die for. Every companion would die for Rasulullah. Every companion would want to be in front of Rasulullah when spears, when arrows were being thrown at him. Just like Talha radijallahu anhu at the time of Uhud, when he was walking to Uhud and they were guarding Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was singing a poem. He was saying, Al-wajhu li-wajhika al-wiqa'u, that Ya Rasulullah, today my face for your face is a shield. And every time an arrow or a spear was thrown at Rasulullah, Talha would jump, he would catch it in his body. He became a human shield for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This was the love of the companions. Imagine Muadh on that day when Rasulullah says to him, Asa alla talqani ba'da ami hadha, that, oh Muadh, I don't think we will meet again after this year. Imagine what Muadh felt like. Muadh was going hundreds of miles away from Medina Munawwara, away from Rasulullah, away from the beloved. These men could not bear a morning away from Rasulullah, let alone thousands of miles and years. And then the Prophet ﷺ says to him, لَعَلَّكَ تَمُرُّ بِمَسْجِدِي وَبِقَبْرِ, that, oh Muadh, when you return, what you will find is my masjid and my grave. And Muadh begins to cry. Muadh begins to cry that, Ya Rasulullah, is this the last time that I will see you? Is this it? And the Prophet ﷺ begins to cry, knowing that Rasulullah ﷺ will never see Muadh again. And when Muadh gets onto his ride and begins to ride, he cries his journey to Yemen, knowing that the eyes that Allah had bestowed to him had seen Rasulullah for the very last time. When Muadh returned, he came and he saw the masjid of Rasulullah. He saw the grave of Rasulullah. He no longer saw Rasulullah. This was a man who was hurt, a man who was in pain. These were all subtle indications